All right, Dan, let's do 9 through 11. I'll read. Then they came to the place in which God had told them, and Abraham built an altar there and placed wood in order. And he bound Isaac his son and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched out his hand and took a knife to slay his son. What's going through Isaac's mind at this moment?
Hey, I'm going to die. I'm not sure what else would be going through his mind.
Right. The thing about the passage at this moment is I wonder what was going through each of their minds. As a child, it would be unfathomable to me that my father would sacrifice me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious if Isaac was looking in disbelief and horror, or if he was like, oh, is this a game? Is this an exercise?
Well, do we know how old he was?
It doesn't really say. We're kind of given the impression that he was a young boy. He was a lad.
How old is a lad?
12.
So it says that Abraham stretched out his hand and took the knife to slay his son.
Mm-hmm.
So even at that point, was he still believing that God was going to save his son and that he wouldn't actually have to kill him?
Right. And I had the same question. I was kind of reenacting it in my head, and I thought to myself, do you think he paused at the top?
Right.
Like, did he get the knife up and he's just like, okay.
Yeah.
And he now's the time, God. It'd be really great if you would, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I know I would. Like, if I was like, okay, God told me to do this, so I'm doing this, even though I feel like, maybe something else is going to happen. But you get to that last moment and you're like, do I not do it? And at that moment, Abraham has to think, okay, what happens if I bring the knife down?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
And then let's say, for example, he brings the knife down and he does kill Isaac. What does it say about Abraham, about what he believes about God?
Right. And how would that look if, God made him kill Isaac?
Right.
I assume his entire household would be like, whoa, I don't want to worship this God.
Well, that was my thought. Okay, let's imagine for a second that God does not stop Abraham from sacrificing his son.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to assume that the whole narrative would fall apart.
Right.
His wife would have to have left him, or they would never speak again.
Right.
After all she went through, and then you killed the only, I had this other son and he wasn't good enough, so we sent him away.
Yeah.
So now we just have this one last hope,
right.
And you killed him? I don't know. I feel like the whole household would have been divided.
Yeah. Maybe that's why, it was just so hard to believe that God would actually have him kill him, that he's like, all right, let's go along with this. I know this isn't real.
But, okay, that brings up a great point. And this is what I always wondered when I was a teenager. Okay, throughout the story, we're led to believe that Abraham doesn't actually believe that God is going to make him sacrifice Isaac. Okay? But then how is that a test of faith?
Right. Yeah, then the whole story is completely pointless, isn't it?
He's basically just walking through the motions saying, okay, at some point in time, God is going to save me from this demand. I'm just doing it because he asked me to, but I really know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
The most important thing is the thing we don't see, whether he would have actually killed his son.
Right.
And we'll never know that. As you said, he's right there about to stab him and God stops him. Right. But was he going to?
Right. Right.
And
until the knife gets forward motion.
Yeah.
You don't really know.
Right.
For all we know, he could have paused there at the top for 5 minutes just waiting for the angel of Yahweh to be like, Abraham, don't kill your son.
Yeah.